unspoken. Don't ever forget you're golden. I will find the light in your soul. I'll be there. Never leaving you in the darkness, even when you're out of focus. I will be the light in your life. You'll see it clear. I'll be your inspiration, 'cause I know that you'll do just what you're told. I'll be your hard-earned temptation, 'cause I know that you'll make it on your own.
Hey, hello, my name is Benny Rahmanov. I am here, CEO of Ishook, with Carmen Shreve, our newfound friend. And we're having a beautiful session today and understanding how the culture in life of acting and anime and all the beautiful stuff that she does. I am myself appalled in how she has done so much at such a short time. But we're here with Carmen. I'm gonna ask her first question that's gonna drive her nuts. Carmen, what's going on? See, that drove her nuts.
Everything.
Everything. Awesome. So what are you doing? So what's the latest things you've been are up to? I mean, like, we want to know in the sense, like, I'm very disconnected from the cultures, I want to understand better. We're here to understand who you are. Give us your background. Give us a little snippet. What do you do? What do you do for your community and your social, presence that you have? Is that the right word of saying social presence? Is that good? Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Awesome.
Well, I guess that's about it. Just kidding. Um,
We're done
so
with the show, guys. We're done with the show.
so basically for me, I love building communities, and I am a gamer, so I do stream on Twitch and on TikTok, and I've been kind of using uh mainly TikTok as a way to build a community of gamers and people who love cinema. And I've used my love for acting to kind of just build a safe place for people who enjoy the same things that I do, like horror movies or anime or different obscure games that no one plays anymore. So,
Really?
yes.
Okay. What's an example of one?
Of an obscure game,
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this first time I heard there's obscure games
I
out
would say that would be Elder Scrolls Online. And I'm gonna
there.
get a lot of hate. I do understand that it's not everyone's favorite MMO, but it has become a favorite of mine. And I've kind of revamped our Discord to to go along with it. So it's
Oh,
great.
wow. So I don't get, don't these type of games have like esports involved with them or no?
Esports, I guess they're all basically puzzle making. Puzzle solving, not puzzle making. Puzzle
Right.
solving.
Strategy mostly.
Yes, it's all
Strategy.
about strategy and leveling up your character and creating basically what you would be in that world. So for me, I like to play high elf sorcerer. And right now, we restarted with our Discord. So we all started off at 0 and we've been building our way through it. And it is extremely difficult.
Wow.
It is. And there's people that actually pay tutors, like parents pay their tutors $20 an hour to help these kids actually learn how to play these games, because you can make a lot of money playing.
Whoa, you just got that in my head. What's the amount? What are the salary bases that a
I
person
mean,
actually get?
last year, a child made over 40 million.
A child, 40
A child. He was about like 10 years old, like around like 40 million off of Fortnite.
Whoa. Okay. You got to translate this for me, because when I was a child, which was very, very long time ago. No, it's not too short ago, right? We never got paid for playing video games. What the heck? Maybe my job genre will be different today if that was the case. But how in the world?
I feel like it's just a form of escapism, to be honest, during quarantine. And I know this was way before quarantine. So I do respect gamers who have been in the long run and in the game for a long run. But during quarantine, I feel like a lot of people were gravitated towards the gaming industry and watching kids game and watching people game. And it wasn't necessarily because it was just something they were interested in. I feel like since we were enclosed for that long of a time, it just became a comfort to, see someone that's always online, that's jumping on to stream with you, that's jumping on to play with you and hang out with you. It's that one-on-one experience that helped a lot of people get through quarantine, that at least for me. So yes, you can make a lot of money off of it. And these kids are strategic. But I feel like you've always been able to make money off of video games. It's just not something that is wildly talked about because I don't feel like people want to encourage it.
Well, I don't know. Well, in time frame, reality was gaming has not been profitable for the actual player. Of course, it was always made money from those who make the games, right? But the
Yeah,
actual player was never paid for playing, or there were never competitions in playing.
actually, there's been competitions since like the 80s. A lot of my friends, at least this is like on my side, because I go to the conventions and
Right.
cons, and there's always that room with all the games and stuff. So my friends, they've been making money off of gaming for a while. They have gaming tournaments, gaming
Wow.
conventions where you could win up to millions, millions and millions.
But obviously, well, we could definitely say online connectivity has made it more
It is made, oh yeah, it's made it
faster, more expansive, right?
a lot easier. Yes.
And no doubt the fact that you're right. I mean, quarantine, without
Brought a lot
interaction
of
with
people
people, you were
together.
able to interact via online interaction. That was very, very
It
big.
was. It allowed them to have that sort of escapism and cope with what was going on, I guess. And through that, a lot of people benefited. And to this day, there's like, it's booming.
Wow. Wow. That's very interesting. I didn't realize that gaming was that. What games do you present in Twitch and all these other platforms and TikTok?
My personal favorite is Call of Duty. I will play Call of Duty all day and all night. I have every single one of the games
Oh,
that have
wow.
come out. I am very much so addicted to Call of Duty. Um, and I would have to say Fortnite.
Fortnite, probably.
Recently, Fortnite.
Right. So I'm saying you're in Call of Duty. Did you ever go to the military? Just asking. I don't know. I mean, like,
No,
I mean, I know my
actually,
kids that play, they don't go to the military, but I
I
don't
had
know.
family who was in the military. My dad was in the military. My grandfather was in the military. So I do like that aspect. And I've always
Okay.
been drawn towards military movies, like war movies and stuff like
Right.
that. I like playing paintball. And yeah, so I guess it kind of just, it fits. It's,
Well, yeah, that's cool. I mean, I can see that. I mean, Call of Duty.
although I will say it's super toxic. The lobbies are toxic. If you are not strong, don't play it because they
What do you
will
mean? What is that? What does that mean? What does that mean? Lobbies are toxic. Toxic from what?
the way that they speak.
Oh, they just abusive, right? They're like,
It's so bad if you're a girl too, because you'll jump on and you'll say, "All right, guys, I'm headed over to B," and then it's like, "Oh, you're a girl," and then it's just.
that's
For
it. They blacklist you. That's it. You're like red
sometimes
list.
they'll even report you
Oh
to
my
get you
gosh.
kicked out of the game.
Oh, what is a girl doing in the game? What are you doing here? You don't belong here. Oh, that's not fair. Anyway. So what else is up with you? I mean, I know you've written many, many books.
Yes, I'm actually coming out with a book series called The Court of Ashes, and I'm really excited for it. It
No, I didn't say that. I'm just listening. I'm a good listener. I know it's very rare that you have that, with the guys today, but I listen.
yes. Well, for me, yeah, I would agree with that. But
Yeah.
so the Court of Ashes is really cool because it is a 3-part book series on a girl who is an archaeologist, and she's hired by this group of elites to find a bunch of artifacts. And she's super excited. Of course, everything's paid for, everything's been given to her. So she's very, very cautious moving into this, but she ends up meeting on her dig this group, and she bonds with them instantly, and then it ends up becoming a hostile situation. And through a series of unfortunate events, she gets turned into a vampire.
Wow.
Exactly. Not the kind of life she was looking for. Um, but you get to actually follow through with her as she goes and looks for different artifacts to like break the curse. And it's really fun. It's really twisted. If you like dark romance, if you love adventure like Indiana Jones, this is definitely the book
Wow,
series.
definitely looking forward to that. Definitely. And
Yes.
how many books have you written till now so far? I mean, I'm just amazed
I've
at your
written
profile.
altogether around 46 now.
Wow.
I try to write about 3 short stories, short books, a month, but weekly I throw out about 3 short stories, and then a month I throw out about 3 actual books. So I love to
Oh, wow.
write. I love
When
world
did,
building.
well, so you're doing 3 short stories a week,
Yes.
popping out almost 3 books a month.
Yes.
So that means you started only like 2, 3 years ago.
No, I've been writing since I was a kid. My mom inspired me to write. She was a teacher, so she would always tell me, Carmen, instead of going outside and, I never really had any friends.
No,
So,
no, you have friends. Come on, I don't believe that. No,
no,
it's not the
I didn't. I was such a
why.
nerd. So, my mom gave me a book and she said, don't worry about what they say, because they used to call me Bucktooth Beaver. So,
Oh,
I
okay.
never liked to hang out with any of the kids. So, she gave me a book and she said, write down whatever story is in your mind and I'll type it up and I'll print it for you. And I was like, okay. So I would write out, my stories, and she really helped like inspire me to be creative and
Wow.
world build. And
Wow.
maybe it's not, the best situation out there, but you can create whatever world you want to live in the book.
And also inspire, right? The whole idea is to inspire, right?
Yes.
From your books, your lessons, your ideas. But
Yeah.
my question is then when did you start this regiment of writing
I
3?
started that last year.
Oh, okay, okay.
I
So now
wanted to,
now I get the math how it's off, right? Okay.
yes. I started last year really sitting down and saying, okay, no, I'm proud of what I write, because I used to be very skeptical of how I wrote, because nerves and anxiety. My sister writes so well, and I didn't want to put up anything lesser of what she could come up with. So I had to tell myself, nope, it's not about what anyone else can do. It's about what you build and the
Right.
world that you want to make. So I sat down last year, and I remember talking to my friend Surgeonic, and he was just like, I got you. Like, I'll help keep you accountable. And since then, my Discord's helped me keep myself accountable. He's helped keep me accountable. Um, it's really great. I have a great support group that's like, Carmen, have you written today?
So
And I'm like,
Carmen, have you written anything today?
I have.
That's good. There you go.
So,
All right, that's awesome. So I mean, any production potential coming out of these
yes,
books?
so much. So for my shorts that I'm doing, I have actually hired out an animation studio, and I will be making those into short animations. And
Wow.
then, yes, I'm really excited about that. It's something that I've been waiting for a while to kind of take on, because I wasn't sure how it was going to go on my own. And then once I got the right people on my side, and I talked to the right people, mentorship wise or help wise, they kind of led me in the right direction. And now I have my own animated series coming out, which is really exciting. And I'm working on a D&D styled anime, which is going to be incredible.
Right. So remember this. Well, D&D for the old folk like us. What?
Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. Thank you. Just for the old peoples who don't understand, right, and wanna maybe potentially invest in Ishook or
Yes.
Carmen, you know, maybe something's in the works. But either way, yeah. Go ahead.
I am making a Dungeons and Dragons anime limited series, and it's going to be called The Hunt. And it's extremely amazing.
Wow. Guys, I'm already excited with that.
So basically,
Seriously, I'm excited. Like the hunt.
it's going
D&D.
to have dragons, it's going to have war, it's
What's
going
it?
to
What's it? Obviously, it's gonna have dragons, dungeons, and dragons. But don't
Yes.
forget, you still need a dungeon.
This is true. But it's really cool because I'm actually following this along with the campaign that's in my Discord. So I already have a bunch of people who are excited about seeing it come to fruition. And this is a crowd-funded anime, which is absolutely phenomenal because you rarely hear
Right.
of crowd-funded projects anymore, only because I feel like it's gotten such a bad name.
Right.
A lot of people just don't necessarily like a lot of people don't want to support your dreams anymore.
No, I don't think that. I think they just want to make sure they support something that will actually come to fruition.
Exactly. And I know that they saw that with this because we have our entire limited series ready and paid for and set. And
When is it? When is the release? Is there, you know, any?
it will be finished by the end of July, the first
Wow.
series.
Wow.
So that's like what, 10 episodes?
Damn. Not bad.
Really exciting.
I'm excited. Listen, I'm excited. I'm very excited. All right, so so let's move away from anime. Right? Because I know you do great stuff, right? So what about in the world of acting? Because I know you do acting, you do directing,
yes.
you're like in the film world. I mean, first of all, before we even get to that, can anyone join your Discord channel if they want?
Yes, of course.
All right, so guys, we're gonna put the Discord channel under our YouTube description here, and I should call anyone who wants.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No worries. And so anyone who wants to down, anyone, anyone who wants to cut, you know, we'll have all her list, all her connections there. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I actually hold auditions on my Discord as well. So for projects that I'm doing on my own, like the limited series or the horror stories that I make that I'm turning into short films as well, all the auditions are going to go through my Discord and through Actors Access. So it's an awesome place. If maybe you've always wanted to try out voice acting, but you just don't have the right connections, join. I mean, it's going to be an incredible couple of months coming up, and I would hate for anyone to miss an opportunity. I'm also casting for a couple of huge films that are coming out. One that's filming in New Orleans, and one that'll be filming in New York and Boston area. It's called Blood Coven. It is a film that I've written and I adore. And yes, it has
Of course, you wrote it.
It has to do with vampires, but it's really good. It is a gothic horror romance.
Awesome. Now my question is there anything besides gothic horror romance that you've written? And can we have an example of that story?
I do. So I have a book series that I'm writing on actually right now called The Pirate. And it is about this girl who ends up finding out that her family bloodline isn't necessarily as royal as she thought it was. And through a series of mishaps with a new governor coming into port and everything, she ends up getting taken away and imprisoned, and then ends up meeting this guy and becomes a pirate. So it's basically a series on her finding her footpaths and deciding on whether or not she wants to continue in the life of privateering, or if she wants to be rescued, allow herself to be rescued, and continue in her life of happiness and frivolous. I don't know how to say that word.
It's fine. It's all good. It's all good. So my next, obviously, I listen. I'm intrigued here. So, what is your daily? How much can you say of your daily time that you utilize in order to prep for yourself when you're doing your channels, your Discord, for any upcoming, I guess, podcaster or gamer? What will be the podcast who does the game together? What are those called? Twitchers? I don't get it. What will you call them?
What?
Those who do podcasts but via games.
Oh, streamers.
That's it,
Streamers.
streamers? Okay,
Yeah,
streamers. Okay, I'm sorry. The streamers. I thought they would have a special name, right? Like,
that is special.
what? No, but it's just a streamer. Everybody's streaming today. Even if
Yeah,
you're
it's all
podcasting, you're streaming.
streamers. I hate to use the word influencer because that's just
All right, so they call streamers not influencers, but they potentially influence you how to play the game. But anyway, for future upcoming girls, right? Specific ladies, right? Obviously guys as well, but for girls, how would they start gaming or potentially doing the game streaming, presenting themselves, writing books, educating themselves? Obviously, we know Ishook has many platforms that we can facilitate and collaborate with, but in your perspective, how do you get to where you are now? And what was the key element? Forget the personal level. I don't want to know the personal level because you already said your mom, background, your mom helped you grow into that. But regiment wise, right? Like, how does a person get to that discipline of saying, okay, I'm going to do that and that? And of course,
set up their day.
support, encouragement is there, but mindset. I'm talking about mindset. Like, you get up in the morning, what do you do in the sense? You go, you go out through your day. What's the status? What's going on there?
There's two answers to this question.
All right, cool. Shoot.
Number one, the only way I get through my day is because of God. That's the only way. I don't know how I get through my day other than the fact that he's the one that helps sustain my patience.
Okay.
The other side is, I mean, it's hard to say to separate the support group from the situation because it is very much so. You can't do it on your own. I know a lot of girls want to start out and do everything on their own, but you can't. You have to have a support group because it's a lot harder and a lot more detrimental to your mental health than a lot of people talk about. So waking up early, making sure that you work out, making sure, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a full workout. Just making sure that you get up, you get moving, maybe do a 30-minute walk during the morning, and then come back and clean everything and then sit down and write everything down for your day. Making sure that you do that in the morning is super, super important because the way you set up your morning sets up the rest of your day. And especially with women streamers, I feel like a lot of the time, everyone's like, oh yeah, you must get all the views. No, it's not like that. You do have to put a lot of time and a lot of effort. You don't have to wear the low cut shirts and the booty shorts on screen. You don't have to get up and swim in a hot tub every time someone gifts you a sub. You just have to be yourself. Be
Right.
yourself, be comfortable in yourself, and have a support group around you that will help remind you who you are. My
Awesome.
Discord, they do the most. My Discord, they prepped me for this meeting this morning. They were on the call till I jumped on saying, you know what, Carmen, I know that you're nervous and you might not do well with interviews, but you've got this. And we listened to music and they talked to me through it. And we made coffee together and we talked and it helps. It really does help. So,
Wow.
and a lot of streamers, they want to do it on their own because they feel like it's easier. It's not. If you don't have a community, it's not going to work. It's just not.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm support, I'm here. You can sign me up, right? Obviously, I mean, in the film industry, I know it's very difficult for girls with a lot of, workplace ethics and all that stuff. How can you overcome that? How do you overcome the workplace ethic?
Honestly, I think it's just intuition. A lot of it.
Right.
You
Okay.
have to trust yourself. If you wouldn't do it normally,
Then
why are
don't do
you
it.
making the exception now?
Right. Right. Of course.
So a lot of women like to, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of women, they feel like they have to like do things that they wouldn't have normally have done, because if they say no, they're going to be overlooked because there's someone else that's going to say yes. That's not the case.
Right.
If
It's like, don't make the exception to the rule just because you're in the film
exactly,
industry.
once you make that exception,
Then you lost yourself.
we're doing it with them.
Right.
So it's not, it becomes this like really difficult situation. So for women, especially because I've been through situations myself, I feel like it's knowing the situation that you're in and asking yourself if you're willing to put up with it. And if you continue with it, then you have to settle within yourself what happens, because you knew exactly what was going to happen. You could
Right.
say all day long that you don't like chocolate cake, but just because the chocolate cake has vanilla frosting on it doesn't mean it's not a chocolate cake. So at the end, when you bite into it, it's still going to be chocolate cake. So they can paint it up however way they want, but at the end of the day, they're still doing something that they don't want to. And it's just about watching yourself. Maybe don't talk to the person who's super sketched.
Right.
Maybe when you meet somebody, ask more questions.
Right. So basically, you always have to doubt but respect everyone around you. That's
Without
the main thing.
respect, unfortunately, yes. But also, it's like when I met you, even if it's over, FaceTime or Zoom, I do sense like peace. I sense goodness. I don't sense anything dark or malicious. So you do have those natural instincts that do alert you. So if you're in a situation and somebody, puts a hand on your thigh, you get up and you walk away. You don't just
No
sit
doubt.
there and endure it and then
No
complain
doubt.
afterwards. Yeah.
Right. No doubt. Agreed.
Stand
Agreed.
up.
And learn to vocalize it to the right people as well.
Yes. And this goes back to having that community. If you do not have a support system around you, then you're not going to get through it. You
Right.
can't.
And that's the whole principle of debate and conversing. Even that we're talking now, it's giving us the ability to move on and build something better in the future. And that's what's the beauty about these podcasts and having these interviews and streaming, I guess, we're not
You
playing the
can't,
game. Right.
now you can't just scream like, oh, I feel unsafe about everyone. You do have to use a little bit of intuition, and that's why
Right.
you have to have a community to talk you
Right.
through.
So you got to be careful. You're not crying wolf. That's
Yeah,
in
of
everything you're doing.
course.
No
Because there's
doubt. But I
yeah,
think the movie industry in general should already create, instead of doing more equity, they should create more of the safe space of workplace. Basically, make sure that if I'm going to work, I'm working and I'm going to work for the job of working, not
yeah.
for the job of doing other jobs there that are inappropriate. And that's why I think it's all around, whether with whatever culture, creed, sex and gender you are, whatever you want to say, right? That should be the number one criteria when you're actually working in any workplace. And that's very important. That's very important. I mean, I can talk about religious aspects in my community and how we prevented ourselves for thousands of years of falling into these issues. Like in our community, we're not even allowed to shake hands with the opposite sex, right?
What?
Yeah, intimacy is only between man and wife,
That's
husband and wife.
considered as intimacy?
That's considered intimacy. So now we have certain leniencies depending on situations, but ultimately it's a break. We don't touch it. The Me Too movement in the Jewish community, in the Orthodox Jewish community, has existed 3,000 years ago. Okay, so it already was there. We never really had those issues except for those who went off the path, right? Those who went off the path, you're off the path. I mean, you're not following the rules of our community. But that's just a side issue. I don't want to mix business with religion. But nevertheless, I just wanted to get it out there that people should understand. You do not have a right to break boundaries between people,
Yeah. And
ever.
women as well need to understand this as well.
No doubt.
Um, it goes both ways.
Right.
You
And the reason why we're saying this, just for the public to know, is because this can hinder a production.
Yeah.
This can destroy a production, and this can
Detrimental.
ultimately affect the future of production, where people have to put monies and you have other individuals there. So you're not even mindful of the other players in the film who have sacrificed their time, their money, their
All the people, the
everything to
crew,
make a production work.
the budget and everything. You spend so much time and so much effort, and then it's almost as if, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but some women lead you on to the very last minute, and then they're like, well, you know, I think I can get some more money if I say this. No, if you felt uncomfortable in the beginning, do not continue.
Right.
It's going to suck.
Or voice. Listen, what I do is I voice if people are
Yes.
inappropriate with other any issue, right? Not
Very
necessarily the issue we're talking about. I say straight up, listen, please stop doing that. Come on, let's move on. You know, let's go. You know, this is any workspace that I do, any project. Listen, I make it very clear. You're bupkis. You're wasting your time. Like stop. Let's move on. Come on. We're here to make money. What are you here for? Your money? What are you here for? What are you
Money.
here for? Money. You're here to make money, get your ideas out there, you know, present yourself. That's what you're here for.
Yeah.
Let's stick to the script. Bottom line.
100%.
That's what I say. That's what I say.
I mean, it's true. I just,
Right. Carmen, you've been great to talk to. This is not going to be the first. This is not going to be the last. I mean, this is the first. Well, I don't know. Well, maybe this is the first interview. This is not the last, and this is not going to be the last. Okay. So there's more to come, guys. I want to tell everybody, listen, all the handles of social media, we're going to put in this tab. Subscribe to our channel. Subscribe to all of Carmen's channels. And listen, till next time, be well.
hi, thank you for having me.
Always, always.